Hello from the north. The weather's a little gloomy outside today. It's going to be raining most of the day. Less sunlight in the room. The tank still looks gorgeous, as usual. We're actually coming up on due for a deep clean. My sump's actually kind of on the low side right now. It's looking a little low back there. Fill that up. But today's video, I'd like to discuss some things you should know before getting discus. There's a lot of things to consider, and a lot of you is probably watching YouTube videos and thinking, hey, I'd like to buy these fish. Definitely a different fish, very enjoyable. It's the best kind of fish I've ever owned, so I get a lot out of them, and initially I put a lot into them because there's some learning curve, and you got to be prepared for that. But what are some of the things you should know if you don't know anything about these cichlids? One, they're a shoaling fish, and just like many tetras even are shoaling fish or schooling fish, and they need company from their own species. Now, when you do the research, they're going to tell you need at least 6, which is, I guess, true because it's better than 3, but 6 really isn't even enough. These fish will fight with each other and stress each other out until you hit a sort of number of fish that causes them not to bicker. When there's too many, you can't be a bully in a crowd. So you need a crowd to stop the bullying. And if you don't, you're going to get, like right now, that was just a little banter. But if you have six fish, you're going to get one that's dominant. You're going to get one that's weaker than all the rest. And the one that's dominant is going to push everyone around all the time because he doesn't have enough work to do. And the one that's the weakest is not going to get any food. And the others will bully it into a corner, and that fish will die. And then a new fish becomes the weakest fish on the totem. And all of a sudden, your fish are just dying off on you. And they're dying off on you because of stress. And you would think there was more stress in a tank as full as mine, but there's actually less. So I think you need 10 to 12 discus to actually pull off a peaceful tank. But that's just my opinion. But do consider it. Because I've been through the whole gambit, let me tell you. Tank mates are a little iffy because you really should keep these fish at 85 and above, which are between 85 and 86 degrees. So you want as low as it gets in your tank to be 85 degrees, and set your ink bird to 86. Why? Because it eliminates a whole lot of problems that are common to discus. White spot, ick. Just these are things that'll wipe out your discus real quick. You don't have to worry about them if you keep your temperature up. It also helps them grow faster. It increases their appetites, which in turn strengthens their immune systems, and it helps keep them healthy. It's just heat alone is a great layer of protection for your discus, and that means you have to select tank mates that can cope with heat, and not all fish can do it. So you also have to select peaceful tank mates that are basically going to pay no attention to your discus and cause zero stress towards them. So I have different species of fish in my tank. I've got a few Congos. I've got some rummy nose. I've got those pygmy cuckoo catfish. Those are great. I highly recommend those. They'll actually clean your fish, groom your fish, your discus. So, and the discus like it. They're not even from the same part of the world, those guys. I got fish from the Congo. Those two, the Congos and the catfish, are from Africa. I think the rest of the fish in the tank, minus the eel, are from the Amazon. But temperature can affect your success with plants. It's definitely destroyed everything I've put in this tank, minus this sort of mossy stuff here. It seems to be okay. I got some over here. Because of that, I've got some fake plants in there too, because I just, I want the look, but I can't keep plants alive. So, a lot of people turn their tanks down to accommodate the plants, but that's going to slow growth. If you've got young discus, it's a bad idea because it will slow growth. If you bought full-grown discus, you can actually turn it down because they're strong. But you're still opening the door to a whole lot of pathogens and parasites when you do that, when you turn the temperature down. Keeping the temperature up, a lot of those things can't operate, just like the plants can't operate, just like a lot of the fish can't operate. So it sort of helps to keep the environment infection-free, to keep the temperature up, and I would recommend you do it, keep the temperature up. So a lot of people will compromise on temperature because they want plants. Something you want to read up on if you're big on plants and you're expecting to put a lot of plants in your discus tank. It's a compromise. You got to put the fish first. So, but that's how that works. Filtration. You're going to need more of it because you got to put a significant amount of fish in the tank. You're going to need a lot more filtration. And also to keep pathogens down in the water, I highly recommend you go with UV. You can get it done very cheaply nowadays. There's several ways to approach UV. You can actually, this is a 90-gallon tank with a 25, 30-gallon sump, and a $20 UV bulb takes care of the whole thing. Well, I have an additional unit in the corner there helping out, but I could lose that and everything would be fine. It's a 13-watt UVC bulb, $20, lasts a few months. It's very cheap now. You don't have to kill your wallet. So the UV helps keep the disease threshold down. Keeps the immune system stronger, not weaker, but stronger. And why would it do that? You might ask. Well, it's simply this. Without the UV, there's always bacteria in the water. All tanks have it. Most fish don't care. Discus do. So it'll slowly tax their immune systems and slowly weaken the fish and slowly reduce their growth rates. And you'll end up with ugly, small discus with huge eyes that are getting sick all the time. So, water quality, big deal. Do you have to change your water every day? No. It's been like 5 days, and I'm about to do a water change and clean my gravel and my filters. I only do the gravel and filters every 10 days. That's my cycle right now. And look at how full this tank is. And I feed them every 2 hours. Okay, so it's really all more about filtration. And again, the UV allows me to operate this way. If I didn't run the UV, then you'll see that all the other advice about discus is to change the water every day or every 2 days. Without UV, that's what you'll need to do, and it won't work as well as this. Okay, so I'm like changing my water every 5 days, and this is my result. Healthy fat fish, all of them, front of the glass. Everybody eats like a champ. Water's clear as a bell. You know, my bubbles normally pop instantly, but it's due. It's due for a water change, and that's what my bubbles look like. These fish are fine. I could actually wait longer, but you wait as long. If you do the wait as long as possible game, you're gonna get too far from your tap water or your barrel water, and then that's a stress event because the pH is way off, and you're gonna shock your fish. Fish are gonna have to struggle with that. You know, everything's about keeping them comfortable. Another thing you want to consider is it depends on your city tap water, but my city tap water is harsh, so I have to rest my water in barrels and then temperature match it and dechlorinate it in the barrels and all that stuff because I need the pH to drop, and it takes a couple days. So that's what I do. Straight out of the tap, if I tap filled this tank, I'd kill my fish because my water's just too hard. And I keep the tank at 6.5 to 6.7. Comes out of the tap at 8.9, probably higher. I just can't measure higher than 8.9. So, what's some other things to consider? The things people don't get told. Don't buy really small fish. Don't buy like month-old discus or 2-inch discus. You need, if you're going to buy a discus, buy an above 3 inches. 3 inches, they can still die on you pretty easy. The small bait, generally the rule is the smaller you buy them, the higher chance of failure you have. The fish just might not make it to adulthood because the defect rate in these fish is incredibly high. So the bigger they are when you buy them, the longer they have already lived, the less chance they have a defect that will kill them on you, and the fish should thrive. So above 4 inch is better than above 3 inch, and so on. The bigger and older the fish get, the better the odds are it'll survive. Medications. Everybody's quick to jump to medications with these fish. You should avoid it as much as you can. Why do people need to use medications? Why do people need to treat the entire tank? It's all about pathogens in the water column. I've addressed that already. The way I deal with it is I just irradiate it all with UV. And guess what? I never need to use medication anymore. I swear to God. I used to have to use it every 2 weeks. Now I never have to use it. So a lot of the advice out there will be throw this medication, throw that medication, and all of a sudden you'll find yourself every 2 to 4, maybe it'll be 6 weeks for you, but you'll be whipping out the meds, and that's expensive. It's very, very expensive. It's far more expensive than a $20 UV bulb every few months. So you're gonna have to adapt how you keep fish when it comes to discus to a degree. But it's really all just about keeping pathogens dead in the water column. If your strategy, and that's what I did, like they'll say don't keep gravel because gravel will create more bacteria in your system. And then once you hit a critical mass, the fish get sick. I have gravel. I just clean it regularly and run a UV so that if there is any pathogens in my water, it doesn't get to live very long. Once a week. I've overstocked a tank full of fish, and I can change it once a week. I can go longer than that. I can probably go a week and a half if I wanted to be that guy. But, that's the discus game. It's all in the water, and it's not about water changes every day. It's simply about the right equipment to keep it sterile. And that's it. That's all you got to do. It works for all fish too. I'm doing it downstairs with my Oscars. Check out my videos. My Oscars are just incredibly healthy. It's amazing. So, thank you so much for watching. I hope that helps you plan your tank. Oh, tank size. Don't forget tank size. I would say 90 to 120 gallons is the ideal discus tank size. You start getting too big, water changes can become difficult, and they can also be too lengthy and take you too long, which means you won't want to do them. So I keep my discus in a 90 gallon so that the water changes are good and quick, and they don't take me terribly long. And yep, that's about it for my advice on discus. We'll catch you on the next one.